book of Ezekiel, chapter 33 to chapter 37. Bear with me as I try to get through this, y'all willing. The book of Ezekiel, chapter 33, verse 1. And Yahuwah, the book of Ezekiel, chapter 33, verse 1. And the word of Yahuwah came to me, saying, verse 2, Son of man, speak to the children of your people. Speak to the children of your people. It's the first time I remember really seeing that. Speak to the children of your people. And you should say to them, when I bring the sword upon a land, and the people of the land shall take a man from their borders and shall make him their watchman. Verse 3, and he sees the sword coming upon the land and shall blow with a shofar. And shall warn the people. So this is the duty of the watchman. Verse 4, then whoever shall hear the voice of the shofar and shall not take warning, if the sword comes and takes him away, his blood is on his own head. Verse 5, he heard the voice of the shofar, but he did not take warning. His blood is on himself, but he who takes warning shall deliver his being. Verse 6, but if the watchman sees the sword coming and shall not blow with the shofar, and the people shall not be warned, and the sword comes and takes any being from among them, he is taken away in his crookedness, and his blood I shall require at the watchman's hand. Verse 7, and you, son of man, I have made you a watchman for the house of Israel, and you shall hear a word from my mouth, and you shall warn them. Verse 8, when I say to the wrong, O wrong one, you shall certainly be unalive, and you have not spoken to warn the wrong from his way, that the wrong one shall be unalive in his crookedness, in his way, that wrong one shall be unalive in his crookedness, and his blood I require at your hand. So this is the duty of the watchman, is to warn others of where their crookedness is leading to, what their crookedness is leading to, and warn them of the consequences and the dangers ahead, so that they'll be able to have an opportunity to turn their life around, change their ways, repent, turn back to the instructions. Verse 9, but when you have warned the wrong to turn from his way, and he has not turned from his way, he shall be unalive in his crookedness, but you have delivered your being. So if If they didn't listen, that's on them. But if you didn't warn them, it's on you. Verse 10, and you, O son of man, say to the house of Israel, this is what you have said. If our transgressions and our sins lie upon us, and we pine away in them, how then shall we live? Verse 11, say to them, as I live, declares the Master Yahuwah, I have no pleasure in the death of the wrong, but that the wrong turn from his way and live. Turn back from your evil ways. For why should you die? Why should you be unalive, O house of Israel? Verse 12, and you, O son of man, say to the children of your people, the righteousness of the righteous man shall not deliver him in the day of his transgression. The righteousness of the righteous man shall not deliver him in the day of his transgression. And as for the wrongness of the wrong, he shall stumble because of it in the day that he turns from his wrong. And the righteous shall not be able to live because of his righteousness in the day that he sins. So you can't live off of your righteousness in the past. And you're not delivered from you're not delivered because of the righteousness in the past. Verse 13, when I say to the righteous that he shall live, and he has trusted in his righteousness, and shall do unrighteousness, none of his righteousness shall be remembered. But because of his unrighteousness that he has done, he shall be unalive. Verse 14, again, when I say to the wrong, you shall certainly be unalive, if he turns from his sin and does right and righteousness, verse 15, if the wrong restores the pledge, gives back what he has stolen, and walks in the laws of life without doing crookedness, he shall certainly live. He shall not be unalive. So this basically describes that you have to walk in the laws of life and not steal. Give back what you're stolen. Restore, so give back what you've stolen. Walk in the laws of life without doing any crookedness. This is describing what's is expected of you in order to live, in order to certainly live. Verse 16, none of his sins which he has committed shall be remembered against him. He has done right and righteousness. He shall certainly live. So if you were a sinner in the past, and if you've done unrighteousness in the past, but you turn from this unrighteousness and start living righteous and doing what is righteous, doing what is obedient to the laws of life, the laws of the Most High, you shall certainly live, and your sin will be forgotten. Your sin will not be remembered. Verse 17, and the children of your people have said, the way of Yahuwah is not fair, but it is their way which is not fair. Verse 18, when the righteous turns from his righteousness and does unrighteousness, he shall be unalive because of it. So when you turn from righteousness and start doing wickedness, you should be unalive because of it. Verse 19, but when the wrong turns from his wrongness and does right and righteousness, he shall live because of it. He shall live because of it. And you have said, the way of Yahuwah is not fair. O house of Israel, I shall judge every one of you according to his own ways. According to his own ways. Verse 21, and it came to be in the 12th year of our exile, in the 10th month, on the 5th of the new moon, that one who had escaped from Jerusalem came to me and said, the city has been stricken. Verse 22, and the hand of Yahuwah came upon me the evening before the man came who had escaped. And he had opened my mouth before me. And he had opened my mouth before he came to me in the morning, and my mouth was open, and I was no longer silent. Verse 23, then the word of Yahuwah came to me, saying, verse 24, son of man, they who inhabit those ruins in the land of Israel are saying Abraham was only one, and he inherited the land, but we are many. Let the land be given to us as a possession. Verse 25, therefore say to them, thus said the Master Yahuwah, you eat meat with blood, and you lift up your eyes toward your idols. And shed blood. Should you then possess the land? Verse 26, you depend on your sword, and you commit abominations, and each of you defiles his neighbor's wife. Should you then possess the land? Verse 27, say this to them, thus said the Master Yahuwah, as I live, those who are in the ruins shall fall by the sword, and the one who is in the open field I shall give to the beast to be devoured, and those who are in the strongholds and caves shall be unalived of the pestilence. Verse 28, and I shall make the land a desert and a waste. The arrogance of her strength shall cease, and the mountains of Israel shall be a waste with none passing through. Verse 29, and they shall know that I am Yahuwah when I have made the land a desert and a waste because of all their abominations which they have done. Verse 30, as for you, son of man, the children of your people are talking about you beside the walls and in the doors of the houses. And they speak to each other, each saying to his brother, please come and hear what the word is that comes from Yahuwah. Verse 31, and they come to you as people do, and they sit before you as my people, and they hear your words, but they do not do them. For with their mouth they show much love, their hearts pursue their greedy gain. Sounds familiar? And they come to you as people do, and they sit before you as people, as my people, and they hear your words, but they do not do them. For with their mouth they show much love, their hearts pursue their greedy gain. Sounds familiar? Verse 32, and see, you are them as a very loving song of one who has a beautiful voice and playing well an instrument. And they hear your words, but they do not do them. Sounds familiar? They hear the instruments and, you know, they hear the lovely songs and one who has playing beautiful, has a beautiful voice and playing well on an instrument, and they hear your words, but they do not do them. Sounds familiar? Verse 33, and when it comes, see, it shall come, then they shall know that a prophet has been in their midst. They shall know that a prophet has been in their midst. Chapter 34, verse 1. And the word of Yahuwah came to me, saying, verse 2, Son of man, prophesy against the shepherds of Yisrael. Prophesy and say to them, Thus said the Master Yahuwah to the shepherds, Woe to the shepherds of Yisrael, who have been feeding themselves. Should not the shepherds feed the flock? Verse 3. You eat the fat and you put on the wool. You slaughter the fatlings. You do not feed the flock. Sounds familiar? People feeding themselves instead of the flock. Verse 4. You have not strengthened the weak, nor have you healed the sick, nor bound up the broken, nor brought back the straying, nor sought what was lost, but you have ruled them with might and harshness. Verse 5, and they were scattered because there was no shepherd. And they became food for all the beasts of the field when they were scattered. Verse 6, but my sheep wandered through all the mountains and on every high hill, and my sheep were scattered over all the face of the earth, and no one was seeking or searching for them. Verse 7, therefore, you shepherds, hear the word of Yahuwah. Verse 8, as I live, declares the Master Yahuwah, because my flock became a prey, and my flock became food for every beast of the field, from not having a shepherd, and my shepherd did not search for my flock, but the shepherd fed themselves and did not feed my flock. Verse 9, therefore, O shepherds, hear the word of Yahuwah. Verse 10, thus said the Master Yahuwah, see, I am against the shepherds, and shall require my flock at their hand, and shall make them cease feeding the sheep, and the shepherds shall feed themselves no more. And I shall deliver my flock from their mouths, and they shall no longer be food for them. Verse 11. For thus said the Master Yahuwah, see, I myself shall search for my sheep and seek them out. Verse 12. As a shepherd seeks out his flock on the day he is among his scattered sheep, so I shall seek out my sheep and deliver them from all the places where they were scattered in a day of cloud and thick darkness. Verse 13, and I shall bring them out from the peoples and gather them from the lands, and shall bring them to their own land, and I shall feed them on the mountains of Yisrael in the valley, and in all the dwellings of the land. Verse 14, in good pasture I shall feed them, and their fold shall be on the high mountains of Yisrael. They shall lie there in good fold, and feed in rich pasture on the mountains of Yisrael. Verse 15, and I shall feed my flock and make them lie down, declares the Master Yahuwah. Verse 16, I shall seek out the lost and bring back the strayed, and I shall bind up the broken and strengthen what was sick. But the fat and the strong I shall destroy. I shall feed them with right ruling. Verse 17, and as for you, O my flock, thus said the Master Yahuwah, see, I am judging between the sheep and the sheep, between rams and goats. Verse 18, is it not enough for you to have eaten up the good pasture, and the rest of your pasture you trample with your feet, or that you shall drink of the clear waters? And the rest you muddy with your feet? Verse 19, and as for my flock, they eat what you have trampled with your feet, and they drink what you have muddied with your feet. Verse 20, therefore thus said the Master Yahuwah to them, see, I myself shall judge between fat and the lean sheep. Verse 21, because you have pushed with flank and shoulder, and thrust at all the weak ones with your horns, and scattered them abroad. Verse 22, therefore I shall save my flock, and let them no longer be a prey, and I shall judge between sheep and sheep. Verse 23, and I shall raise up over them one shepherd, my servant David, which is, we're going to see, well, this is the prophecy of his only begotten son. And he shall feed them and be their shepherd. Verse 24, and I, Yahuwah, shall be their Elohim, and my servant David a prince in their midst. I, Yahuwah, have spoken. Verse 25, and I shall make a covenant of peace with them, and make evil beasts cease from the land, and they shall dwell safely in the wilderness and sleep in the forest. Verse 26, and I shall make them and the places all around my hill a blessing, and shall cause showers to come down in their season. Showers of blessing they are. Verse 27, and the trees of the field shall yield their fruit, and earth yield her increase, and they shall be safe in their land, and they shall know that I am Yahuwah when I have broken the bars of their yoke, and I shall deliver them from the hand of those who enslave them. Verse 28, and they shall no longer be a prey from the nations, and the beasts of the earth shall not devour them, and they shall dwell safely with no one to make them afraid. Verse 29, and I shall raise up for them a planting place of name, and they shall no longer be consumed by hunger in the land, nor bear the shame of the nations any more. Verse 30, and they shall know that I, Yahuwah, their Elohim, am with them, and that they, the house of Israel, are my people, declares the Master Yahuwah. Verse 31, and you, my flock, the flock of my pasture, are men, and I am your Elohim, declares the Master Yahuwah. Chapter 35, verse 1. And the word of Yahuwah came to me, saying, verse 2, Son of man, set your face against Mount Shear, and prophesy against it. Verse 3, and you shall say to it, thus said the Master Yahuwah, see, O Mount Shear, I am against you, and shall stretch out my hand against you, and shall make you a ruin and a waste. Verse 4, your cities I destroy, and let you be a ruin, and you shall know that I am Yahuwah. Verse 5, because you have had a continuous enmity and handed the children of Israel over to the power of the sword at the time of the calamity, at the time of crookedness of the end. Verse 6, therefore, as I live, declares the Master Yahuwah, I shall appoint you for blood, and let blood pursue you, since you did not hate blood, therefore blood shall pursue you. Verse 7, and I shall make Mount Seir a ruin and a waste, and cut off from it the one who leaves and the one who returns. Verse 8, and shall fill its mountains with the slain, those slain by the sword and fallen on hills, and in your valleys and in your ravines. Verse 9, I shall make you a everlasting ruin, and your cities uninhabited, and you shall know that I am Yahuwah. Verse 10, because you have said, these two nations and these two lands are mine, and we shall possess them, although Yahuwah was there. Verse 11, therefore, as I live, declare the Master Yahuwah, I shall do according to your displeasure and according to your envy, which you showed in your hatred against them, and I shall make myself known among them when I judge you. Verse 12, and you shall know that I am Yahuwah. I have heard all your scorns which you have spoken against the mountains of Israel, saying, they are laid waste. They were given to us for food. Verse 13, and with your mouth you have boasted against me and increased your words against me. I myself have heard. Verse 14, thus said the Master Yahuwah, as all the earth is rejoicing, I shall make you a ruin. Verse 15, as you rejoice because the inheritance of the house of Israel was laid waste, so I do to you be a ruin, O Mount Seir, as well as all Edom, all of it, and they shall know that I am Yahuwah. Chapter 36, verse 1. And you, son of man, prophesy to the mountain of Israel, and you shall say, O mountain of Israel, hear the word of Yahuwah. Verse 2. Thus said the Master of Yahuwah, because the enemy has said of you, Aha, aha, the height of old have become our possession. Verse 3, therefore prophesy, and you shall say, thus said the Master Yahuwah, because they laid you waste and swallowed you up on every side, so that you become the possession of the rest of the nations, and you are taken up by the lips of talkers and slandered by people. Verse 4, therefore, O mountain of Israel, hear the word of Yahuwah, hear the word of the Master Yahuwah. Thus said the Master Yahuwah to the mountain and to the hills, to the rivers and to the valleys and to the deserted ruins, and to the cities and to the cities that have been forsaken, which become a prey and a mocking to the rest of the nations all around. Verse 5, therefore thus said the Master Yahuwah, have I not spoken in my burning jealousy against the rest of the nations and against all Edom, who gave my land to themselves as a possession with all joy of heart, with scorn in their being, to drive it out for a prey. Verse 6, therefore prophesy concerning the land of Israel, and you shall say to the mountains and to the hills, to the rivers and to the valleys, thus said the Master Yahuwah, see, I have spoken in my jealousy and my wrath, because you have borne the shame of the nations. Verse 7, therefore thus said the Master Yahuwah, I have lifted my hand in an oath that the nations that are around you shall bear their own shame. Verse 8, but you, O mountain of Israel, put forth your branches and bear your fruit to my people Israel, for they are about to come. Verse 9, for look, I am for you, and I shall turn to you, and you shall be tilled and sworn. Verse 10, and I shall tilled and sown, and I shall increase men upon you, all the house of Israel, all of it, and the cities shall be inhabited, and the ruins rebuilt. Verse 11, and I shall increase upon you I shall increase upon you man and beast, and they shall increase and bear young. And I shall make you inhabited as of old, and do better for you than at your beginnings, and you shall know that I am Yahuwah. Verse 12, and I shall let men, my people Israel, walk upon you, and let them possess you, and you shall be their inheritance, and no longer let you add to their bereavement. Verse 13, thus said the Master Yahuwah, because they say to you, you devour men and have bereaved your nation. Verse 14, therefore you shall no longer devour men and no longer bereave your nation, declares the Master Yahuwah. Verse 15, and no longer shall I let you hear the insults of the nations, and the reproach of the peoples you shall bear no more, and no longer cause your nation to stumble, declares the Master Yahuwah. Verse 16, the word of Yahuwah came to me, saying, verse 17, Son of man, when the house of Israel dwelt in their own land, they defiled it by their own ways and deeds. To me, their ways was like uncleanness of a woman in her monthly period. Verse 18, so I poured out my wrath on them for the blood they had shed on the land, and for their idols they defiled it. Verse 19, and I scattered them among the nations, and they were dispersed throughout the lands. I have judged them according to their ways and their deeds. Verse 20, and when they came to the nations, wherever they went, they profaned my set apart name. For it was said to them, these are the people of Yahuwah, and yet they have gone out of his land. Verse 21, but I had compassion on my set apart name, which the house of Israel had profaned among the nations wherever they went. Interesting. Verse 22, therefore say to the house of Israel, thus said the Master Yahuwah, I do not do this for you, for your sake, O house of Israel, but for my set apart name's sake, which you have profaned among the nations wherever you went. So not for your sake, but for his name's sake. Verse 23, and I shall set apart my great name. And I shall set apart my great name, which has been profaned among the nations, which you have profaned in their midst. And the nations shall know that I am Yahuwah, declares the Master Yahuwah, when I am set apart in you before their eyes. How about that? Verse 24, and I shall take you from among the nations, and I shall gather you out of all the lands, and I shall bring you into your own land. Verse 25, and I shall sprinkle clean water on you, and you shall be clean from all your filthiness, and from all your idols I cleanse you. Verse 26, and I shall give you a new heart, and put a new spirit within you. And I shall take the heart of stone out of your flesh, and I shall give you a heart, and I shall give you a heart of flesh. Verse 27, and put my spirit within you. And put my spirit within you, and I shall cause you to walk in my laws and guard my right rulings and shall do them. This is what the heart shall cause you to do. If you're not doing that, you don't have that spiritual heart. Verse 28, and you shall dwell in the land that I gave to your fathers, and you shall be my people, and I shall be your Elohim. Verse 29, and I shall save you from all your uncleanliness, And I shall call for the grain and increase in it. And I shall call for the grain and increase it. And I shall bring no scarcity of food upon you. Verse 30. And I shall increase the fruit of your trees and increase of your fields, so that you need never again bear the reproach of scarcity of food among the nations. Verse 31. And you shall remember your evil ways and your deeds that were not good. And you shall loathe yourselves in your own eyes for your crookedness and your abominations. Verse 32, not for your sake am I acting, declares the Master Yahuwah. Let it be known to you. Be ashamed and blush for your ways, O house of Israel. Not for your sake am I acting, declares Master Yahuwah. Let it be known to you. Be ashamed and blush for your ways, O house of Israel. Verse 33. Thus said the Master Yahuwah, on the day that I cleanse you from all your crookedness, I shall cause the cities to be inhabited, and ruined places shall be rebuilt. Verse 34. And the land that was laid waste till instead of being a ruin before the eyes of all who pass by. Verse 35. And they shall say, this land that was laid waste has become like the Garden of Eden. And the wasted, the deserted, and the destroyed cities are now walled and inhabited. Verse 36. Then the nations which are left all around you shall know that I, Yahuwah, have rebuilt the destroyed places and planted what was laid waste. I, Yahuwah, have spoken, and I shall do it. Verse 37. Thus said the Master Yahuwah, once again, I shall let the house of Israel inquire of me to do for them. I shall increase their men like a flock. Verse 38. As a set apart flock, as the flock at Jerusalem at her appointed time, so shall the wasted cities be filled with flocks of men, and they shall know that I am Yahuwah. Verse 37. Chapter 37, verse 1. The hand of Yahuwah was upon me and took me out by the Spirit of Yahuwah. And set me down in the midst of the valley. And it was filled with bones. Verse 2. And he made me pass among them all around, and see, there were very many on the surface of the valley, and see, they were very dry. Verse 3. And he said to me, Son of man, these bones live. And I said, O Master Yahuwah, you know. Verse 4. Again, he said to me, prophesy to these bones, and you shall say to them, O dry bones, hear the word of Yahuwah. Verse 5. Thus said the Master Yahuwah, these bones, see, I am bringing into you a spirit, and you shall live. Verse 8. And I shall put sinews on you, and bring flesh upon you, and cover you with skin, and put a spirit in you. And you shall live, and you shall know that I am Yahuwah. Verse 7. And I prophesied, and I was commanded, and I prophesied as I was commanded, and as I prophesied, there was a noise, and there was a rattling, and the bones came together, bone to bone. Verse 8. And I looked, and I saw sinews and flesh came upon them, and skin covered them, but there was no spirit in them. Verse 9. Then he said to me, prophesy to the spirit Prophesy, son of man, and you shall say to the spirit, thus said the Master Yahuwah, come from the four winds, O spirit, and breathe on these unalive ones, so that they live. How about that? From the four winds. Verse 10. And I prophesied as he commanded me, and the spirit came into them, and they live. And stood upon their feet in very great army. Verse 11. And he said to me, Son of man, these bones are all the house of Israel. See, they say, our bones are dry, our expectancy has perished, and we ourselves have been cut off. Verse 12. Therefore prophesy, and you shall say to them, thus said the Master Yahuwah, see, O my people, I am opening your burial sites and shall bring you up from your burial sites and shall bring you into the land of Israel. Verse 13, and you shall know that I am Yahuwah when I open your burial sites, my people, and bring you up from your burial sites. Verse 14, and I shall put my spirit in you, and you shall live. And I shall settle you in your own land, and you shall know that I am Yahuwah, and you shall know that I, Yahuwah, have spoken, and I have done it, declares Yahuwah. Verse 15, and the word of Yahuwah came to me, saying, verse 16, and you, son of man, take a stick for yourself and write on it. For Yehuda and the children of Israel, his companions. Then take another stick and write on it for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim, and for all the house of Israel and his companions. Verse 17, then bring them together for yourself into one stick, and they shall become one in your hand. Verse 18, and when the children of your people speak to you, saying, won't you show us what you mean by these? Verse 19, say to them, thus said the Master Yahuwah, see, I am taking the stick of Joseph, which is in the hand of Ephraim, and the tribes of Israel, his companions, and I shall give them unto him with the stick of Yehuda, and make them one stick, and they shall be one in my hand. Verse 20, and the sticks on which you write shall be in your hand before their eyes. Verse 21, and speak to them, thus said the Master Yahuwah, see, I am taking the children of Israel from among the nations wherever they have gone, and shall gather them from all around, and I shall bring them into their land. Verse 22, and I shall make them one nation in the land on the mountains of Israel, and one sovereign shall be sovereign over them all, and let them no longer be two nations, and let them no longer be divided into two reigns. Verse 23, and they shall no longer defile themselves with their idols, nor with their disgusting matters, nor with any of their transgressions, and I shall save them from all their dwelling places in which they have sinned, and I shall cleanse them, and they shall be my people, and I I be their Elohim. Verse 24, while David, my servant, is sovereign over them. This is Yehud, this is the only begotten son, of course, because it's a prophecy. And they shall have one shepherd, and walk in my right ruling, and guard my laws, and shall do them. Verse 25, and they shall dwell in the land that I have given to Jacob, my servant, where your fathers dwelt, and they shall dwell in it, and they should dwell in it, they and their children and their children's children forever, and my servant Dawid be their prince forever. My servant Dawid be their prince forever. No other than Yahushua HaMashiach, his only begotten son. Verse 26, and I shall make a covenant of peace with them, an everlasting covenant. It is with them, and I shall place them and increase them, and shall place my set apart place in their midst, his kingdom, forever, and shall place my set apart place in their midst forever. None other than the Messiah, and none other than the kingdom. And my dwelling place shall be over them, and I shall be their Elohim, and they shall be my people. Verse 28, and the nations shall know that I am Yahuwah, am setting Israel apart, when my set apart place is in their midst forever. Forever. That was the book of Ezekiel from chapter 33 to 37. Appreciate patience. Appreciate all those who pulled up, who was able to hear me out. May Yah bless you all. Until next time, peace, love, Shabbat shalom, love, and peace.